Hello, everyone. It's Rocco the Crins, and today I want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons 4th Edition. I know everyone hated it, except me and my friends. Ugh. We played 2nd to 3rd, all the way through 3rd, and it's like 15 years of role playing games, and we were just so tired of all the math and all the stupid shit. When 4th edition came out, like it killed all the sacred whatever you call them. Oh, I just loved it. I loved it. And it was so fun to DM because, I don't know, there was a thing online and me and my friends all paid for it and it was D&D online, something like that. And it had a character creator. And so I paid $75 a year for this, right? But I could share it with 5 people legally. It was part of the deal. And that was my whole gaming group. We all got it, right? And they can make new characters, and I can make new monsters, and everything was to the level of the game, right? I don't know. It's hard to explain. I mean, originally when the game was designed, they had an idea that like there was going to be an online place to just play D&D. Like before there was D20 or whatever those new ones are that are out there, because I mean they do that thing that it was designed to do. It was an online game. Anyways, I I could tell you with Paul Kleeman and Sarah Royman and I don't know what that other kid's name really was, Andrew something. We had so much fun. So much fun. Except for all the smoking breaks, I can tell you. But I mean, that shit happens. But 4th edition, it just said, okay, look, this is how you play D&D. You get a map, and you get miniatures, and that's how you do your combat. And combat is very important, in every edition of D&D. But it's not the only thing. But it's a big part of every D&D campaign. Unless that's not how you want to run it, Because there's always those people out there going, well, no, D&D isn't about combat at all. It's only about, I go over here and I talk politics, and my whole team of barbarians are here to make sure you follow my politics. It's just whatever it is. But I mean, you can play it a lot of different ways. You can talk to people. You can fight them. You can, what do they call it? Hobos. Where they just go from town to town killing everyone. Even the nice people. They kill them because it's worth XP. And that's where I think it comes from. I honestly think it comes from hoboism. The way they play it in D&D. It's like a long time ago, people learned that killing things got them experience points. That's what XP stands for. And that's all they did. That's all they tried to do. Because it's the only way they knew how to get XP. There's been a lot of games called Dungeons and Dragons since that 1st edition. And they've tried to no, it's like if a rogue steals money, he gets some XP. If a paladin changes someone's views, he gets some. There's a lot of different ways to get XP since the 1st edition. But the main way everyone does it is kill creatures. 4th edition made that so much fun. For me and my group. I mean, the rules are simple. You have one move, one standard, and that's it. I think. I'm trying to think back, but I mean, really, I can move and make one standard action. pretty sure I got the right of that. Anyways. Oh, and a minor action. Every character had a minor action also. You know what? We need to get something cooler up there. How about that? You guys seeing something? What? Am I actually? Yeah, okay. I'm 5.5 minutes in. Everyone had something cool to do on every turn. And so did the Dungeon Master with his monsters and his characters. Every one of them had cool things to do on their turn. It really, really made a fun game. Now, of course, I have friends that looked at the rules and said, these don't make any sense. You know, because they couldn't, let go of the math, I think. And the math of the game, it did inquire, it made you, much like 3rd edition, it was a lot about a math. You know, you always had to keep your, whatever if you're a strength guy, you had to make sure your strength was super high so you could attack anything with your sword. And I do believe 4th edition was very much like that. You know, the math of the game. But I liked how things worked. I mean, like, everything you had, I mean, your stats and your equipment and everything led to how easy it was for you to attack an enemy. But you also got +1 to those things every other level. And that was your attacks and your defenses. Even if you didn't upgrade your armor got better every other level. And I understand. It was, you got better at defending yourself. And I liked something else about 4th edition. You had 4 different, ACs, basically. And there were different things that your enemies would target. You had your armor, right? The things you're hiding behind, like, oh shit. But you also had your dex. You could jump out of the way. Those things. And you had your, what were they? There's will. And there's another one. Anyways, but enemies didn't, just, I throw a fireball over there and let's see, who, saves. No, in 4th edition, you had to make an attack against every character that you wanted to get hit. And even the ones you didn't want to get hit. And they were all based on you, rather than them. And you had to go against their con, the dex, or the will. I think somewhere in there. And I actually have the book in my car, but it makes sense. It's like, can I outstrong this one? No. Do I have to dodge against this? Can I mentally go no, I don't want you. So yeah, 4th edition had this right, and for the only time this game has ever had it right. In Dungeons and Dragons 4th edition, they got it right, because a wizard shouldn't just, how does Matthew, what's his name, put it? You have fighters that are just like one line, but you have wizards that are like all over the place. I think it's quadratic versus, anyways, if you watch his videos, you'll understand what I mean. Coffin. Matthew Coffin? Something like that. Anyways, watch his videos and you'll know what I mean. 4th edition got a lot of things right in D&D. And my favorite character I've ever played in D&D ever, Rax Al Mundo. he's a half orc, but he's also that other half of him. Oh my god, he was so cool. He had a dude that came around with him. And this is part of the rules. He's a noble, right? And in 4th edition, your half orc could be well, let's make sure there's something in there. It's not necessarily like a sign of rape, like orc raped your mom, and that's how you got a. No. In 4th edition, they said, you know what? You have a line in your your family that's known for strength, and you have these priests in your line that always like strength. You might have a half orc as a son, and it's not a sin. It's not a bad thing. Nothing bad happened. There's no rape. There's none of that. No, it's a natural birth. Like your father had sex with your mother, and your son is a half orc. And Rax Mundo was one of them. He was the 4th son. He wasn't even gonna earn anything, when Dad died. But he was a big part of the family. He won many championships out in the knighting and things. But he was a slayer at heart. He loved to go out and just be like, like, Dad, I want to go out on the stag hunt because I know I'm really good at this. And his dad was so proud of him. And so he went out on the stag hunts and he did everything he could to prove himself, and his whole family's still alive. When I played this character, his brothers and sisters, everyone. It's just, you know what? I gotta go out and make a name for myself. Because I feel called. And Dad was like, well, you know what? You're 4th in line. If we ever need you back home, we'll send for you. But before you go, you're taking this man-at-arms with you. And he was just he made sure I was dressed well all the time. It was so cool. I'm a half-orc. Noble. Yeah, think about it. It was so rad. And that's 4th edition for you. You could pull that off, but he was a slayer. OMG. Was he a slayer? Like, the guys at the table are like, why is he so good at killing everything? I'm like, that's how I built my guy. Because you could build your guy in a lot of different ways in 4th edition. Now, I think 5th, with the things that you get at 3rd level in a lot of classes, that help you, like you're a fighter. And when you get to 3rd level, you can become a champion. You can become someone who wants to use a lot of the rules from 4th edition. Or you want to be a half wizard kind of guy. You can do that. Also, make sure there's something in line here. Also, if you're a paladin, I love this about 5th edition. You could be about, you could be the lawful good one. You could be a chaotic good one. Or you could be a neutral good one. I like that about 5th edition. But in 4th edition, Paladin was a pretty simple class. He was a divine defender. And that was something else I really liked about 4th edition. OMG. All the classes were defined by 2 things, really. You had, if you were a striker, alright, strikers do the most damage, but they're not the strongest at taking it. But you also had where you got your strength from. Like the paladin was divine. The fighter was martial. The rogue is farcial. The warlord. And if you follow, what's his name? If you watch Twitch a lot on D&D, Mike Merles has started a thing about the warlord. should check it out. Because the Warlord was my favorite class to play. I loved it so much. Because it's a character that says, you get in there. And it's a partial move on your turn to move another character into a place where it helps you or another character. Or you attack. Or as a bonus action in 5th edition, it was called a minor action in 4th, you could heal people. And it was 2 times per encounter you could heal people. You weren't as good as the cleric. The cleric got like a bonus next to their, like they got bonus next to their wisdom. So you could spend like they had these things called, I'm losing it. Anyways, the concept was, it was so cool. And a lot of people say, like, combat feels like a video game. And I'm like, well, yeah, a 1980s video game. It doesn't feel like anything in modern video gaming. But again, I'm missing the point. Every class in 4th edition felt like they could add something to every challenge. Whether it be combat, whether it be, like, social, anything they had to do, environments, every class had something they could do because it was caked into the game, the way they wrote it. Where 3rd edition had, well, I don't want to talk bad about it because 3rd edition was a lot of fun. I played it since its inception in 2000, to 2008. And I played 2nd edition from 1999 or 1989 to 2000. And I played 4th edition the whole time. But I really liked 4th edition. And I was like, when 5th edition came, I was like, I can understand the players around me. They're not digging it. And I was totally digging it. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I mean, 4th edition D&D had so many good things to offer. And 5th edition took some of them. Didn't take the best ones. But it did take, like, the minor action into the bonus action. But in 4th edition, everyone had the minor action. Every character had a minor action, but you had a move and a standard. But you could turn a standard into a move or a minor. Oh, I loved it. Oh, man, at the table, it'd be so much fun to play. People trying to, I want to turn this move action into an attack. No, that's not how it works. Standard, move, minor. Like that. Just like this. Or like this, if you can see my hand. Now, I mean, that was the jam. And it was so simple. Where 3rd edition had rules on rules on rules on rules. But we played it, all the time. But when 4th came, it was like, oh, all the sacred cows are dead. And it's time to move forward into a game that, like, says, like, you're a striker. That means you're a rogue, or a ranger. Or, whatever. A fighter is a defender. And he has abilities that keep his friends safe. It's so cool. I know, like, you're used to video games where certain characters draw attacks. But none of that shit existed before D&D. Dungeons and Dragons invented that stuff. There was, video games and, I don't know what you'd call them, online games, whatever. They might have perfected the rules that D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, had created. But, anyways, I hate that word. Like, the 4th edition got rid of all the bad rules and streamlined everything. And everyone who played Dungeons and Dragons at the time, other than me and my group, it felt like, even my friends, like, that used to play D&D with me were like, oh, it sucks. Oh, they hated it. I'm like, have you played it? No. Then shut up. You can't, until you sit down and play it, you don't know how the game works. And everyone says, well, there's no role-playing in it. And the way they built the game, the way that they designed the game, the player's handbook isn't there to teach you how to role-play. It's a, reference book. This is how they built, like, that whole game. It's like, people know how to role play. Let's give them reference books so that they know the rules. And that's all that matters. And the rules don't even matter. I mean, it's your table. It's the way you play D&D. I just absolutely loved 4th edition. I know everybody hated it. All my friends hated it, and a lot of my friends never played it. They were just against it from the beginning because, yeah, but I can't make the character that I really want. That dumb shit that players pull all the time. I can't play the character that I really want. Who's the character you really want? I want to be like a guy that is awesome at everything. Yeah. Good luck with that. Now, a friend of mine, his name's Steve, he never played D&D in his entire life. He said, I want to be a guy that can, like, swing a sword and do some magic. I said, well, good luck for you, because we have this thing in 4th edition called feats that you get every other level. And these are for everyone. Everyone got them every other level. And in order to, like, become part of another class, you had to take feats. I know it sounds like awful to today's players, and even to the game before, but in 4th edition it made so much sense. They wanted you to give something up to get, part of what that other class does. My favorite character in 4th edition was not my favorite, because that was the guy I talked about earlier. But second favorite was a wizard that took 3 feats in thief or rogue. And let me tell you, he was the party's rogue and the party's wizard. Because I had encounter powers from the rogue, I had daily power from the rogue, and I had skills that I was trained in from the rogue. And here's something else. If you were trained in a skill, you got +5. So I had 2 rogue skills that I was trained in for taking multi-classing. I don't know if it's better. Well, I know it's better now. I know it is. Or it was better then. Because you never left your class. You always kept getting your class things. You had to, like, sacrifice a little bit to get a little bit of another class. But it wasn't like one level dip where you lost everything in your class for that level. It's hard to explain. I mean, in 3rd edition, it's all about dipping, because all the classes were, like, preloaded. Like, you got a lot of shit at 1st level. It's like, oh, I'm a wizard. I think I'll take a level in fighter so I can wear all that armor. and wield every weapon and cast spells. One level. I like how they did it in 5th, because like if you can qualify to take that level in fighter as a wizard, you don't get heavy armor or shields, I don't think. But that I could just be talking out my ass. But I know you don't get heavy armor. Where in 3rd edition you got all armor and all weapons for 1 level dip, and +1 to hit, and +2 to fortitude. No, 5th edition does that pretty well. But I think 4th edition did it the best. It's like, if you want to sacrifice a little bit of your, a little bit or a lot of it, you can do that using your feats as you get them every other level. Yeah, I don't know. 4th edition gets a bad rap. I'm here to say, if you watch that other guy's video, Matt Colville, he talks about bringing in, like, the great things from 4th edition into 5th edition, especially in combat. That's a good one to watch. I don't know how to put a link in the down below. I don't know how to do that. So I can only just tell you, if you're watching my videos, Matt Colville, he's really good. And I would like you to watch his D&D videos. But this is just my D&D video. And it's just me talking about my favorite, probably my favorite version of Dungeons and Dragons. I had the most fun playing it. I had the most fun running it. And of course I had the coolest friends playing with me. So, I don't know. It was just, I don't know. I thought 4th edition was rad. And we had that online resource. And this is something that, you had to pay for. But, you get the whole group to pay for it, and everyone in the group can use it on their computer to make characters. The dungeon master, like me, I could create new monsters. And the monster builder was so awesome. Like, you can just, like, click on, I want a beast. I want it to have, like, this level. And it already put in the attack values. And you're like, well, I want to put in another value. You want to put in, like, some new thing. And you just push a button. And then you can write in, like, what its new attack is called. And what it does. It's like, it's an area burst 3. And it already knew all the math. And you could set up, like, attacks reflex. Oh, it's just so awesome. There hasn't been a online resource since that I think is so cool. Roll20 and all those things have come out. Beyond. I don't know. 5th edition is the most popular edition ever. I mean, and I think it has to do with the fact that everyone's online now. I really do. I mean, I got an app on my phone about making 5th edition characters, and it's so simple. And the math is so easy, and it's just... 4th edition, though, I think it was ahead of its time. I think it came out at a time when everyone was still loving math to do everything. And there was still that barrier. Like, they wanted that barrier. And I can talk about this. 2nd edition had it built in to its rules, a barrier to keep people away. It was right there in the rules. If you can't do simple math, if you can't subtract, we don't want you. I know it sounds dumb, because it kind of is, but at the time when they built the game, they didn't want jocks playing it. This was for us. It wasn't for them. It was for us. Jocks go out and play football. Nerds play Dungeons and Dragons. And that's what it was about. Because, I mean, if there was a simple mechanic called THAC0 that could keep you from playing D&D, let me tell you, it kept a lot of people, even in my friends group, from playing D&D. It was just a simple thing. You roll your D20, subtract your THAC0. That's the AC you hit. It's simple as fuck, but it's not as simple as roll a D20 and add your attack bonuses. So when 3rd edition came out, everyone could play it, but not everyone could excel at it. And I do believe Monte Cook and Skip Williams, I really do think they wanted it to be, okay, everyone can play this game, but there's certain classes and certain feats and, there's things in the game for the smart guys. And there's a lot of dumb things, trap things that they can do. There's feats you can take that are just traps. Like toughness, plus 3 hit points, and that's it. That's a trap. That's Skip Williams and Monte Cook. They wanted to take the game back to the 70s, where it was the Dungeon Master versus the players. That's what they really wanted to do. Those two guys. It's not the overall idea of that version of D&D. Not at all. Not at all. But 2 dudes that were involved with the creation of the game set it up that way. And, they can defend themselves all they want from this statement, but they know it's the truth. And it's Monte Cook and Skip Williams. I'll call them out. But I was all for it. I'm like, okay, there's still a barrier to entry. I can play this game with anyone, but only the stupid people are going to, take their fighter all the way up to world attack, When by the time you get that, you're like 10th level, and the wizard is destroying everything. The cleric and the druid are everywhere. No. 3rd edition is all about casters from 1st to 20. It's all about them, especially with the bonus spells for having a high, you have a high intelligence, you get bonus spells as a wizard. Now in 2nd edition, 1st edition, 1st level wizard only casts 1 spell. That's it. In 3rd edition, if you had a high enough intelligence, you can cast 3 or 4. And you could start writing scrolls at 1st level. It costs you XP, but I can tell you, the creating magic items things in 3rd edition, on paper, I never saw it happen in my games. In my games, no wizard sat around creating, I only get 2 spells per adventure, but I will spend all of my XP to make sure that I can cast as many spells as I want. And they're all 1st level spells, but he can create spells like, oh, I got 900 XP. At 25 XP each, I will spend all my downtime making 1 spell, 2 spells of magic armor, and the rest of them are magic missile, or whatever was cool, It was all about that, And I never saw that in my game, but on paper, that's what you could do. On paper, you could do a lot of things as a wizard, and a cleric, or a druid. And those are the 3 full casters. From 1st level all the way up, they have options. And that's why they didn't really get a lot of cool abilities, as they leveled up. Because they have, full caster. So it's like they got all the spells, and when you grab your, well, even now in the 5th edition book, you got a fat chunk of that book is spells. See, in 4th edition, they leveled everyone. Even the fighter had kick-ass powers at 20th level. Not just the wizard, but the fighter too. And they just said, no, everyone's equal. Like, the fighter, he has, his martial abilities are gonna be in line most of the time. But when, once a day he can pull off something rad, like, he gets a jump of up to 5 squares, and then he gets to attack everyone around him for weapon damage times 3. A lot of people that were playing the game were like, that feels really video gamey. And like I said earlier, it was designed to be an online tabletop game. So a video game, perhaps. But I mean, D&D never felt more fun than when my character got to do that awesome shit, But, the grognards, and I should have been one of them, but I always embrace what's new. I try to. It's like Rush puts out a new album, I'm like, no, wait, hold on. Oh, this is awesome. Everything comes to pass. Everything old is new again. But, the 4th edition of D&D. I think anyone who sees this video should try it. I don't know if the rules are online. I know they were really, really bad. No. Third edition was so bad, it led to Pathfinder. Now, I don't know if anybody out there has played Pathfinder, but it's like 3.5 on meth. And if you played 3.5, yeesh. Anyways, I'm not trying to talk bad about it, but I mean, it's like that game, only more of it. And when 4th edition came out, I was just so ready for just to take it off, just relax. Everything a character can do is cooked into his class. And if you got feats, and we had a character maker, right? And it would put all that shit right there in the math and everything. Oh, it was so easy. And it was so well designed. And even then, by the end of 4th edition, I had as many books as I did in 3rd edition. And I shouldn't say one of them was bad for fluff, because most of the books are all crunch. But I mean, I can tell you, when Psionics came to 4th edition, nobody cried. Nobody was, well, except for the people of 2nd edition or 3rd edition. Oh my God. It's not the same. It's not the same as, no, in 4th edition it wasn't. You had psionic powers that did, you had a leader, you had a defender, you had a striker, and you had a controller. 4 full-blown classes from level 1 to level 30. Oh my God. And, it treated psionics as its own thing. Right, now there's people talking behind me. I love it, because people don't know how to shut up. I'm trying to make it a YouTube video before I go to bed. But yeah, 4th edition. I honestly would love you all to try it out. It's not what I'd call like the best